Hello everyone, I'm Miss Trish. I'm one of the RE teachers for UU St. Petersburg, and I'm here with the session for the 28th of February 2021. This session is entitled, Where We Don't Run Away When Things Get Hard. So I'll light the chalice and start the session. Love is the spirit of this church and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Building beloved community and journeying towards spiritual wholeness isn't easy. The proposed 8th UU principle invites us to accountably dismantle racism and other oppressions in ourselves and in our institutions. Dismantling means taking something apart which has been built up. Racism has been built up for over 400 years. If we want to dismantle it, we must commit to the long haul and the hard work. When that hard work gets really hard, we'll be tempted to quit or run away. But our faith guides us into becoming a people of beloved community. It tells us, don't run away when things get hard. And I have something here for you to help us think about it. This is a bagel, a delicious round closed up pastry with a hole in the middle that I happen to love. Yum yum. Bagels. And this one is a croissant, a buttery, flaky, delicious pastry that's open and looks like it has arms to embrace. So, when UU youth make a covenant about the promises they want to keep each other, they sometimes say, be a croissant, not a bagel. And that means to stay open to new ideas and don't close the circle or close your mind. Staying open to new ideas is what we need to do to build a beloved community and to reimagine our world. Building beloved community and joining towards spiritual wholeness isn't easy. If we want to dismantle racism, we'll need to live into the proposed 8th principle. We must commit to the long haul and the hard work. And as our faith guides us, don't run away when things get hard. Stay open. It will take determination to build beloved community. The tortoise, or the land turtle, is a symbol of determination. And there's an Aesop's fable about a race between a tortoise and a hare. And I'm going to tell you that story today. So, as you know, a hare is another word for a rabbit, and a tortoise is a land turtle. And there's a race between the two of them. Who do you think is going to win? Well, here's a clue. The tortoise didn't falter when things got hard as it watched the hare disappear into the distance. Instead, he moved steadily towards his goal. So here's our story, The Tortoise and the Hare. Now there are a variety of books about this Aesop's fable, and we'll include some links for you to explore, along with a link to another story called The Other Side by Jacqueline Woodson. So when I was a little girl, I had pet turtles, actual water turtles. I had 5 of them. They were George, Sam, Speedy, President, Ichabod. Oh, I had 6 of them because I forgot Murgatroyd. And We used to love to feed them hamburger, lettuce, and flies that we'd catch especially for them. We'd also race them, and they weren't easy to race because they liked to go off in their own direction at their own chosen speed, and sometimes they didn't want to race at all. Sometimes Speedy would take off and run away from the pack of turtles and claim the winner title. Other times, President won. Murgatroyd, even though he was the biggest, he hardly ever won. But it was always for sure that the turtle that started in the right direction and kept going towards the finish line was the winner. So here's our story. One day, a hare was bragging about how fast he could run. He bragged and even laughed at the tortoise, who was very slow. "Do you ever get anywhere?" he asked in a mocking laugh. The tortoise stretched out his long neck and said, "Yes, and I get there sooner than you think. I'll run you a race and prove it." Why, the hare laughed out loud at this challenge. He thought, my, what a joke. Then he said, "A race, indeed, a race. Oh, what fun! My, a race. Of course, Mr. Tortoise, we shall race." The hare was much amused at the idea of running a race with the tortoise and thought it would be a good chance to prove just how fast he really was. The fox consented to act as the judge, and the other forest animals mapped out the course. Then the race began, and the hare, being such a swift runner, was off, and soon he left the tortoise far behind and out of sight. About halfway through the course, it occurred to the hare that he had plenty of time to beat that slow, plodding tortoise. "Oh yes," he thought, "I have plenty of time to play here in this beautiful meadow." And so he did. He hopped around and sniffed some flowers and chased some butterflies. And after the hare finished playing, he decided he had enough time to take a little nap. "I have plenty of time to beat that slow-poke tortoise," he thought, and he cuddled up next to a tree and dozed off in the warm morning sun. The tortoise, meanwhile, kept going, ever so slowly, but steadily. He never stopped, but he took one step after another. And after a time, he passed the place where the hare was sleeping. But the hare slept on very peacefully. When the hare finally woke from his nap, he thought, "Time to get going." And off he went, faster than he had ever run before. He dashed as quickly as anyone ever could up to the finish line, where he met the tortoise, who was patiently waiting his arrival on the other side of the finish line. That's the end of the story, but I have some questions to help you think about it. And at the end of my segment of this video, you can pause and discuss it or think about it on your own. So here's my first question. What's the big message in this story? Next, how do you think the tortoise felt when the hare raced so far ahead of him that he was out of sight? And what made the tortoise keep going when it looked like there was no way he could win? And how do you think the hare felt when the tortoise had won the race? And last, do you think the hare learned a lesson? And if so, what was that lesson? Well, my time for today is over, so I'll pass the session over to Miss Jeanay for the meditation and wrap up. I hope you have a peaceful and happy week, and I miss you and hope to see you soon. Namaste. And now you can pause the video if you like to ponder the questions that I gave you that go with the fable, and then head over for the second half of this session. Bye for now.
Hello, I'm Jeanay Johnson, and I'm your Religious Education and Communications Coordinator here at Unitarian Universalist Church of St. Petersburg. I want you to take a look at my shirt. Yes, our church has been here since 1905. So for today, I wanted to get into our mindfulness meditation, all right? Thank you, Miss Trish, for providing the story and the first part of our lesson. We're going to go right into this mindfulness movement. So the thing about mindfulness is also addressing things that we don't want to address. So we don't want to run away when things get hard. Instead, we can center ourselves as a mountain, solid and immovable. We will do this work and not be pushed away. So one thing that I just learned a couple weeks ago by Thich Nhat Hanh is the four pebbles. Now, one of the four pebbles is a rock that represents the mountain. The mountain is something that is immovable, very strong, and has a firm foundation. And then another pebble that we had learned, Jade, would you like to help me out?
Oh, yes.
What was the other pebbles that we learned? So I named the mountain, and what else is there?
There's flowers
Mm-hmm.
and water and space.
And space. So what did flower represent? Do you remember what that one represented?
To be honest, no.
And to be honest, no, I appreciate your honesty. That's another thing about being mindful is also being honest. So the flower represented growth. Let's see. How about space? What does that mean?
Like, you feel like you're in space?
Okay. And also giving yourself space and giving others space, right?
Yeah.
Because there's nothing but space. And just acknowledging that sometimes being mindful also entails giving that space when it's necessary. So I like to also call that healthy boundaries, if I may. If you feel in your heart that something is just not all the way there and you feel like you want to run, maybe you just need a moment to just stop and just. So thank you, Jade, for sharing. So for this mindfulness meditation, I would like for you all to have a seat, get yourself centered and grounded, and listen to this excerpt as we sit and think about these things that help us in not necessarily running, but taking the moment to ask ourselves, why are we running? That's a big question to ask. Why? And be honest with yourself. You don't have to say anything out loud. You don't have to share with anyone. In this moment, it's just me and you. Ask yourself why. And be honest. And when you hear the answer, because I don't want to deal with that. Okay, so why don't you want to deal with that? Because it's difficult. And now you come in with the what. What makes it difficult? So just breaking it down for yourself one by one, just taking that time to kind of just take the ease and take the pressure off. Nothing in life is made easy, but as we learn to be more mindful in the way we move within ourselves, within this space that we occupy, it can help us navigate these things that often make us want to just take off running. So I will get this going. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you. Bye. I invite you to move into our meditation position. Sit comfortably in your chair or on the floor. Put your hands on your lap or on your knees. Sit up nice and tall and focus your eyes in front of you. Find your breath breathing in your body by taking in one breath in through your nose and slowly breathing it out of your mouth. Now, let yourself relax. Take a nice, slow, deep breath in and out. Deep breath in and out. Now, especially during these particular times, a lot more people have been expressing feeling anxious, feeling anxiety. One thing I know about anxiety is that when you have a shortness of breath, your heart rate elevates. So in order to help bring that anxiety level down, let's breathe together in this space, taking deep inhale and exhale. And when you feel those peaks rising up, think about your breathing, as your breathing is paired with your cardiovascular system, your heart. So, also, let your body, your muscles, your face, everything just relax. Just, if you have a mat, that's fine. If you don't have a mat and you just have a towel, that's perfectly fine. If you just want to lay in some grass, check before you drop, but I'm pretty sure that'll be fine too. And just let everything fall into the earth. Allow gravity to do a nice tug at yourself. And then imagine all the problems, the superficial problems that you may have in your space. Just imagine gravity just pulling it out like this and sending it back into the world to be converted into positive energy that comes back into your breath. Think about that. We're going to be fine. Take care of each other, take care of your loved ones, take care of yourself. Wisdom of yourself, of your body, is recognizing those triggers where you actually need to just stop. Think, can I solve this right now? Do I have the tools in the now to take care of this? Or can I just wait just a second so you can get back to center? Because that center point, it's a hard place to get to, yes. It's not impossible. So with that, namaste.